Jump up, bend down, shake your head all around. Jump up, bend down, hands on your head and turn around.
Well, welcome everybody to my presentation, 3 Up, 3 Down. And I'm going to be sharing with you a creative way to put together some lessons, whether you are in person or virtual or a combination of both. My name is Carrie Flint from Redondo Beach. I am a physical educator, starting out as a general ed physical educator and then became an adapted physical educator. I am musical PE plus, and what is that? Well, I teach with music 100%. So I hope you enjoy my presentation as much as I have fun putting it together, and you'll get a little bit of taste of how I teach. A little bit about me before I begin is, here we go. So as you can see, I wear a lot of hats, and I've been very much involved in physical education at the state level, helping out with the framework and the APE guidelines, as well as teaching. I've been a presenter for, oh my goodness, close to 20 years, and I've had the honor of being able to travel around the country. So now things are virtual, but I still love presenting and sharing ideas and inspiring teachers to think out of the box. And I also tap into my various teaching experiences. So as you can see, I have taught multiple levels, multiple environments. I currently now am teaching virtually, like many of you. I'm providing adapted physical education services to a handful of students. And I have taught 180 kids. Yes, that's not a fluke. That's not a misprint. Here you have it.
Line 'em up, line 'em all up.
Now, I know that this isn't in every single school district. However, in my personal experience, when I've done general ed, when it comes to physical education, it has been at the grade level, with the entire grade level. So yes, there were 180 there. All right, so let's move on to today's objectives. I am going to describe to you what exactly is 3 Up, 3 Down, why and how I created the lessons. I'm going to share an example lesson that is timely, and you'll understand that. I'm definitely going to give you some helpful tips in putting these lessons together, and I definitely, if you have not done so yet, definitely download that handout. It is jam-packed with lots of resources for you. And then, of course, ending with questions. So let's begin with, what is 3 Up and 3 Down? Well, it's 3 minutes of activity followed with 3 minutes of content. It is simple as that. However, where and why did I come up with 3 minutes? And my aha moment was when I was doing a lot of professional development with classroom teachers on incorporating physical activity in the classroom. And everything that I was sharing with them, they were easy activities, no equipment, can be done in the classroom. And I found myself, they made me realize that I was saying it quite frequently, that, hey, it's 3 minutes. It's the length of a song. Because I mentioned I am musical PE. I teach with music all the time. I have learned in many cases, music is about 3 or 4 minutes. So I found that, 3 minutes is a great amount of time to be able to do an activity. It's great length of time for practicing a skill. However, it is not too long for kids to get bored, especially those more advanced kids. They get bored and they will then go off task. So this is that magical amount of time. Well, my aha moment, as I was saying, is when I was working with these classroom teachers, is that writing down in their evaluations of the presentation, I was consistently getting, I can do 3 minutes. Wow. It was so many teachers. It was doable. I can do 3 minutes. And that's where the concept stayed with me and kept it in mind as how I ultimately created this 3 up and 3 down. So outside teaching physical education, I have always used music and going from one activity to the next or station to station. That timing was there. And it was obviously always moving, but I knew even if we were working on dribbling, if I changed it slightly, I kept the kids' interest, even though we're still working on that skill. So that has always been my thought process in lessoning, in lesson planning. All right, so where does the down come from? Well, tapping into what those teachers sort of said, that they could get those kids up and moving throughout their delivery of information in the classroom. This is the reason and how and why I came up with this lesson plan of 3 up and 3 down. I was doing consulting at an elementary school for about a year, and they came to me and said, Carrie, would you do a grade level physical education for us? And as you saw that picture earlier, I've done the grade level PE outside, and that's not teaching, that is managing. And I think you would all agree with that. However, I thought for a moment, well, if I had these conditions, I will do it inside. And this is what I asked for, that I could be in the cafeteria, which means I would have access to technology. The cafeteria was definitely to have those 4 walls to keep the kids in, because as you will see to the right here, is that it was over 100 for every grade level. That included TK. That was actually the largest group. That was close to 150 kids. There were 4-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds. So it was TK and kinder together. It was a big, big group. And then they also wanted 60 minutes. So this is my challenge. A lot of kids, small space, no equipment, 60 minutes. How do I keep them engaged the entire time? That is how I started and started thinking of the 3 up and 3 down. So here's a quick little video just to give you a sense of what it was like in Now, I know it's dark, but I know you got the gist. Lots of kids, but they're all moving, they're all engaged, they're following that video. And that was consistent at every single grade level. So I will say, when I first created these lessons, the very first time I did it, and this is including the TKers, it worked. This formula worked. And when I returned the second time to do it, I literally said to, I had an aide with my little ones, and I'm like, all right, we're going to find out if this works or it was just a fluke. And it worked. And it worked every time. So let me share how to the lesson development. I would start with a standard, a theme, or a concept, or a combination of all those things. And I really wanted to take the opportunity to address standards that I did not normally do outside with, because I don't have a whiteboard or a setting to do that. And granted, I had a grade level, but I'm now inside. I could keep them focused and I could actually address concepts. And so I kept that in mind. I wanted them to walk away with learning about their bones, their muscles, nutrition, the food groups. I I didn't assess in this situation in any formal assessment. This school did not grade on physical education. It was just participation. But that still didn't mean I couldn't teach and get concepts across. And the feedback I would get from teachers and parents and the cafeteria ladies, I would get that they are getting it. They were getting what the food groups and eating healthy and identifying their muscles and bones. So they were getting the concept. So even in this setting, they can still learn. So I started with that. The next step was I went to YouTube, and I went to YouTube and find content and videos, activity videos, as well as content on how to read a food label, on food groups, on identifying muscles and bones. Whatever my concept was, guess what? There's a wealth of information in there that you can pull from. And I got multiple videos even on the same topic, because that is key. You are being repetitive with that information, that they'll walk away with that ultimate core of the concept or standard that you want to teach. The next is downloading all the videos on my computer. By that one trick, I eliminated searching for videos during my lesson. I was able to embed the lessons within my PowerPoint. I also was no longer, frankly, dealing with the internet, because I had the videos downloaded in my PowerPoint. So no matter what, it would always work. And of course, no ads. I then strategically placed the videos. I didn't do content, and then let's get them up and moving. It's 3 up, 3 down for a reason. It's you're moving, you're listening, you're moving, you're listening, and that's how it goes. I'm also building on that lesson. And yes, I'm using multiple videos sharing the same content. For example, we just had Halloween. So I have a video that's learning about the bones, listening to a song. I have a video that's talking more detailed about the bones and identifying, and one that is labeling the muscles and their names. So multiple videos, same content. By the end of the day, those students walked out of that cafeteria knowing that as an adult, you have 206 bones. So it's not that it was a lot of information I wanted them to get, but I wanted to get them get that gist. And then throughout the lesson, and I also have to remind you, I had these students for a solid 60 minutes, is stopping and checking for understanding as we went, and then ending with reflection. And that, in my situation, was something that my classroom teachers knew what the lesson was for the day. And for those teachers, especially that were keeping journals, that they would come in and write down what they learned in physical education. But always remember, reflection is very, very powerful. And the more that you can incorporate that is key. All right, so that's how I set it up. What I'm going to share with you is a very timely lesson. This was done for first graders. So I actually shared pretty much this lesson for TK all the way up to second grade. And I also want you to know what you're about to see is a lot. And the reason that it's a lot is because it was 60 minutes. And I can't emphasize enough, good lesson planning means you always have more than you need. So if I didn't get to all of it, that's okay. But I certainly wanted more than enough. I never wanted a lesson saying, oh my goodness, I've got 20 more minutes. What am I going to do? You always want to have more. Always keep that in mind. All right, so here is my lesson that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to go very quickly, but I also need to describe, this was my opening slide that I use for all of my grades and all of my students. And once again, being grade level physical education, I was waiting for 5 or 6 classes to come to the cafeteria. So they all didn't come exactly at the same time. So I had music playing.
Everybody get up.
And with that, during that music playing, teachers would come in and clapping, kids would be clapping. That was great. That was fine. It was 3 minutes that gave enough time for all the classes to get together. So once they were all in the cafeteria, I got them up moving right away. And I love this guy.
Hi, welcome to the
YouTube.
Phys Ed Zone. My name is Coach Gilardi, and I love Thanksgiving. It's a time to give thanks to friends and family, and we're going to do a fun Thanksgiving warm-up called the Turkey Hop.
Okay. So we did the turkey hop and they followed the video. And I'm up there moving with the kids as well, but I found having that video was truly helpful, especially since I had over 100 kids. Now, after that video, my students sit down. And I'm saying today we're going to learn about nutrition. We're going to learn about the history of Thanksgiving and the Thanksgiving feast. And we're actually going to match food to food groups. Is that a lot? Yes, it's a lot, but 60 minutes, I needed to do that. Also, by this time, I had already introduced the food groups. So they have already have a foundation, and I am just tying into, we're about to have the ultimate dinner of the year. So let's identify what food groups that the dinner falls under. So after I've talked a little bit, I get them up and they are going to be moving again. So here's an example of what they would be doing.
And shake the other to the right. Move with me. Move with
And then after that, they have this slide. Now, this is a slide that I've used at the very, very beginning of the year, teaching the students the routine and format of my lesson, but I always had it as a reminder, especially near the beginning of my 60 minutes, to remind them, remember, when the music ends, you're going to sit down and you're going to be quiet. So this is that reminder. They're all sitting down, ready to go. So now I found a cute little video that is only 2 minutes long about the history of Thanksgiving. So we'd watch that. And then after that, I get them up and moving again. Yes, I do. And this is a cute one. This is a turkey song.
I'm a perky disco turkey because I love to dance. I know this may seem bizarre. It's the coolest thing to do. That's why I'm such a star. Step side to side, reach high and low.
Now, I know some of you may not think, are the kids going to follow? Yeah, they are. Kids love camp songs. Kids love doing it. And when you have the big group together, and of course, I'm selling it, the more enthusiasm that you as a teacher have, it definitely spreads to the kids, and they absolutely do it. And remember, they were sitting and listening and learning about Thanksgiving. Now I'm getting them up. We moved. Now they're sitting down again. And as I said, my students at this stage already know that red represents the fruit group. And then I showed some pictures of some fruit. And then I asked them, what fruit are you going to have on your Thanksgiving table? And we had that. Now I'm getting them up and moving, but also I will get them up and they can watch the song. This one is really a song learning about Thanksgiving.
We eat turkey, oh so good, oh so good. Always on Thanksgiving, always on.
Now, I am touching on a lot of teaching, reaching those different learners. I've got the auditory, I've got the kinesthetic, I've got the visual, a little bit of everything that they're going to walk away with the history of Thanksgiving and food groups and so forth. So now we're moving on. Green, they know our vegetables. So we've got our vegetables. And after we've talked for a couple minutes, always keep in mind, no longer than 3 minutes. I'm going to get them up. And now I found this really cute yoga that is Thanksgiving theme.
Welcome to Fun Time Yoga. I'm Kenzie. Today, we're going to be doing Thanksgiving themed yoga. First up is Pilgrim Pose. stand tall with your feet together. Reach towards the ceiling as high as you can with both hands. Slightly bend both knees and hold the position.
Now, I really liked this particular yoga one because it was so Thanksgiving theme based, obviously. The kids absolutely follow along. They do. But if you have not yet tapped into Cosmic Yoga for Kids, you got to do it. She has stories. She has different themes, and the kids absolutely love it. Kinder or preschool to second grade, it is a win. So Cosmic Yoga, check it out. All right, so now we're back talking about food groups again. Blue is dairy, then orange is grain, purple is protein. Now, if you're not familiar, all these food groups, this is from the My Plate curriculum, so I did not come up with any of this. This is how they're to identify the different food groups. All right, I'm getting them moving again. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this is the scarecrow dance. So
Scarecrow, scarecrow, touch the sky.
All right, so then we're moving. So then the next one, this is another one on the history of Thanksgiving, talking about the food again.
Everyone knows that turkey is the featured
And
dish for most
these
Thanksgiving celebrations.
These little movies that are you're seeing the food in the feast and learning about it. And this is, well, now this one is long. This was actually 4 minutes. That's the longest I have. But I definitely try to keep them all at 3 minutes. Now to recap everything, we've talked about the history, we talked about the feast. Now here's that My Plate, and I would have the kids share on what they would eat at Thanksgiving. And this is what's interesting, having all the different cultures and what is added to that Thanksgiving feast. But usually the foundation is that turkey and corn and potatoes. I get them up and moving again. And then after that, I have a cute little thing here about hand and in other lessons, I've actually done more about that on food portions, but this is only about a minute long and just sort of throwing it in there. It's that tidbit of information as we go. All right, now we would get up and move again. And I think this is the Little Pilgrim. And as you can see, this is all from the Learning Station. There's from their YouTube station. So that's where I found all these, and the kids love this. I get them up and moving again. And he's actually, in this one is the chicken dance, which by the way, I've always done, and I call it the turkey dance for Thanksgiving. So waddle, 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 gobble, gobble, gobble. Lots of fun. So we do the chicken dance, turkey dance. And I get them moving again. And just to put this in your mind.
Baby pilgrim shark. Mama pilgrim shark. Mama pilgrim.
They love it. All fun. Now, I began my presentation or my lesson with the welcoming, with the music, and this is how I always ended every lesson, whether it was with the littles or even the fifth graders. Obviously, the older kids could read this. The little ones, I read it out, but this was consistent, and it amazed me from day one, and every day followed pure success, every grade level. There wasn't any time that I would have to tell kids to sit down and be quiet. They absolutely did this mindful minute. Now, what what my goal was with that mindful minute was that this is when the classroom teachers would come and pick up the kids. They would be finishing up the mindful minute. And many times it was successful in doing that. However, sometimes the teachers were late. And I remember I told you at the very beginning, this is a lot. You've just seen lots and lots of videos and how I pull it all together, and I stop and talk and stop and teach and get them moving and add content. It is a lot. But it's always better to have more than not enough. And then if by chance the teachers were not there to pick up their kids when we were doing the mindful minute, I always had this video as a backup, and they loved it.
Healthy music for a child's heart.
Here was that.
Let's all say goodbye in a fun, silly way.
And they
It's
loved
how
it.
we end our happy day. Now stop, 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 and clap, clap, clap. Repeat after me in this goodbye rap. See you later, alligator.
See you later, alligator.
Got a truck, baby duck.
Got a truck, baby duck.
In a shape, rattlesnake.
In a shape, rattlesnake.
Out of here, reindeer.
Out of here, reindeer.
Let's all say goodbye in a fun, silly way.
Okay, so with those kids, they didn't get that every time, but it was always, as I said, ready to go if the teachers were late to pick them up. All right, always you need to be prepared, organized, and that really is whatever setting you are teaching in. Tips for success is to create that class routine and stay in that format. Go over that routine. Don't assume the kids are going to get it. Literally take a lesson that you're walking them through it. Okay, we're up and moving. We're sitting and listening. We're up and moving. These are the signals. These are the cues. Be consistent, whether they are online virtually or in person or wherever it may be. That is never wasted time. The more that you can set that class management in place and stay with that framework, you will have success. It is that consistency that helps the students be successful and stay on task in your lessons. Download those videos. It just streamlines everything, as well as minimizes and not having commercials. I showed you my opening and the closing. The other is
say hello.
Say hello.
I would like.
absolutely, no matter what platform you're teaching on, create a welcoming environment that your students are excited to be there. As you know, I use music. I have music playing whether I'm outside. I had music when I started this presentation and use music throughout. It really is key. So as I shared with you, this has always been my slide, and having that music.
Everybody get up.
Now, just by the way, with that music, it's clean version from Christy Lane. There's no bad words. Frankly, it's just the beat to the music that's fun. When I initially taught my students routine, I used this slide. That music is on. You are moving. And the flip side of the coin.
Now here's a game that's kind of neat. Just get your body in the beat. But when you hear the music quit, don't want to see you move a bit. Now you can dance any way you please, but listen closely for the freeze.
So it's just to make it fun, as well as I showed you this slide earlier. This was from the very beginning that, okay, music ends, you sit down. This worked. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, it worked day 1, it worked day 15, it worked every single time at every single grade level. This formula works. All platforms. I did this in person, but absolutely utilizing this formula online, whether you're asynchronized or synchronized, whatever it may be. Get them up, give them that little bit of information, get them up and moving again, always changing that. It will keep their interest. Always remember PE. PE, physical education, engaging, enjoyable. No matter what grade, what population, whatever, make it enjoyable, make it engaging, and absolutely, more than ever, take the opportunity to work on those content standards that we often overlook or don't have time. Physical education and making it meaningful. I want to thank all of you for watching today. You can reach me at Musical PE Plus, or you can call me directly. I am here to answer some questions, but I also want to remind you that handout I've given you is jam-packed with an abundance of resources for you. My goal really is for you to take this idea and make it your own. Now, I created this way before COVID. And now today you have so many tools such as Pear Deck, as well as Ed Puzzle, Brain Pop. There's so many things out there that you can incorporate and not just show a video, but go ahead and make it an Ed Puzzle and check for that understanding. So embrace this opportunity and thank you again, and bye-bye.